PlayStation just announced their brand new game catalogue update for June 2026, bringing a fresh batch of titles to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. Now, being completely real with you right from the off here, I think it's just an okay month overall. It's definitely not a legendary lineup, but let me help you find the diamonds in the rough here so you can have a good time with your subscription this month. There's lots to get through, and Sony is actually rolling these out on some pretty random staggered days throughout June. They're not all arriving at the one day, so make sure you stay tuned through the whole video so you can see exactly when each game lands. And as always, to save you scrolling through all the games which get added, and if you're not sure what to play, I'll be giving you my absolute #1 top pick, the specific game you need to jump into first at the very end of the video. Now, let's dive straight in. First up, and available right now if you're in the US or the UK, is Sonic X Shadow Generations. I actually owned the original version of this game all the way back on the Xbox 360, and I absolutely loved it. It's just a fantastic Sonic title, but seeing this updated version running on the PS5, the visuals completely pop. Look at this gameplay of Green Hill Zone. It literally jumps off the screen. It's so vivid, and I just love when games look like that. It looks like a video game, so bright and fun. On top of the remaster, you're getting a brand new standalone campaign centered entirely on Shadow, who is just a brilliant character to play as. He looks super cool. As a massive Sega kid myself, my first ever console was the Sega Master System 2. And I grew up, just playing Sonic all the time. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, I had a Sonic Chaos. I am incredibly hyped for this. I'm definitely going to be diving into this on my PlayStation Portal. It's going to be an absolute blast on the handheld. It's a great addition to the service, and I've got to ask, how many of you were Sega kids back in the day before they bowed out of the hardware market? Let me know your Sega memories down below. Next up, dropping globally on June 16th, we have Final Fantasy XVI. This is a massive action RPG, but it's a bit of a twist. It moves away from the series tradition of turn-based combat, and I think this is due to it being directed by the former Devil May Cry director, and it moves towards more kind of real-time action-orientated sort of combat, and it is kind of much darker, more gritty in its colour palette than some of the other Final Fantasy games. And if I'm being completely honest, the normal exploration and step-by-step gameplay doesn't really pop when you compare it to something like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I played the demo of this game when it launched, so that's all I have to go on. And for me, it was just okay. It didn't completely blow me away. However, where this game absolutely does pop is in its jaw-dropping, colossal boss battles. They look utterly insane, and on the PlayStation 5, the scale of these fights is going to be just stunning. If you are big into spectacle-driven action, this is right up your street. The RPG systems are supposedly a little bit on the shallow side and pacing can drag, but with its incredible soundtrack and those cinematic boss fights, it's a strong experience to blast through on your PlayStation Portal. Quick tip though, if you're completely new to the whole Final Fantasy world, go and play Final Fantasy VII Remake first. That was my first taste of Final Fantasy, and it is spectacular. Moving on to June 23rd, I told you these dates were all weird. We have got Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is a massive story-driven open-world RPG set in the Holy Roman Empire, where you're trying to avenge your parents' death. It's a game I've actually never played myself, but looking at it, it does seem pretty interesting. This is basically the next-gen upgraded version of the original 2018 game, packing in, a big graphical update like 4K resolution, improved frame rates, and high-res textures. Compare that to the original version, and it is a looker. Honestly, it doesn't really look like my jam, so I'll probably give it a miss, but it might be right up your street. It's got a seriously immersive story, and side quests are supposed to be great. The combat looks like it can be a bit hit or miss. Some people love it and others find it a bit clunky. Just a heads up though, the game is still a little bit buggy, shall we say, so keep that in mind before jumping in. And there is actually a sequel to this game which is available right now, so that might be a better bet if you want to get involved in one of these games. Arriving on that exact same day, June the 23rd, we have Life is Strange Double Exposure. This is another game I have never played. I've never played any game in this franchise actually. I'm pretty sure I own one or two of them though from the free game giveaways on Epic Games on my PC, but I've just never pulled the trigger and actually played the game. That said, this does look like a great entry point if you like cinematic narrative adventures. It looks like a reasonably solid one to check out. I love these kind of games on the PlayStation Portal because they're slower paced, perfect for chilling out on the sofa and relaxing before bed. The visuals also look really nice, and I like how your choices can impact how the story pans out. I just love that in games. It sounds like it has a few flaws and maybe isn't quite as good or as highly rated as the original games in the series, but for a nice chilled out mystery on your Portal, and the fact it's in PS Plus so you don't need to buy it, definitely keep an eye on this one. If you're one of these people who have always dreamed of working on a farm, this next game has got you covered. Farming Simulator 25 will be here with you on June the 30th. I haven't played this exact entry in the franchise, but I did play one of the older games back in the day, and the first thing that jumped out to me here is just how much better the visuals look. It looks way better. If you want to fully manage a farm, right down to jumping into the tractor for day-to-day running, this is the one for you. It's introducing completely new environments across East Asia, North America and Central Europe, plus new stuff like rice and spinach farming. You get access to over 400 authentic farming machines from top brands, and it looks a very chilled out experience. You could easily lose hours just relaxing on the couch with your Portal, building up your farming empire. Also hitting the service on June 30th is Blades of Fire, and this is one of those rare cases where the PlayStation Plus curse didn't actually get me. If you don't know what this is, it's the nightmare scenario which always happens to me, where you check out a game and you buy it on sale, or you just buy it in general, and then a week later it gets announced for PlayStation Plus. I was literally looking at this the other week on sale, but I told myself, look Murray, you've got way too many games in your backlog, just leave it. And thank goodness I did, as it's now in PS Plus. A rare win for me with PS Plus and the PS Plus curse. This game originally launched back in May 2025, and it's a very good looking game. If you're into a visceral experience where, there's going to be plenty of blood and gore and intense violence, it looks like there's plenty of it here, meaning you can, properly chop bad guys to bits. It's got pretty mixed reviews and it wasn't a massive hit commercially, but that's the beauty of PS Plus. You can check it out for free. Well, basically for free. I know you pay for your subscription, but you know what I mean. The combat looks a little bit basic, and you should not go in expecting a God of War Ragnarok level of story. But as a simple fun action game for a change of pace on the Portal, it looks like it could be good fun, and I'll definitely give it a spin. Now we have another RPG this month. This is like the month of RPGs, isn't it? Well, an MMORPG this time, dropping on the 30th of June, which is Black Desert. Who remembers when this was called Black Desert Online? I'm pretty sure I jumped into this on PC at some point, made my character, walked around for a bit, and then just never went back. But since then, they've done a whole bunch of updates to make it a lot more friendly for newbies, which is great because this game can be quite tough to get into. This is the actual next gen build for the PS5, featuring crossplay with Xbox, which is really good, so you can play with your buddies no matter what system they're on, and 60 FPS performance, so it looks nice. Now, these massive forever games, as you know if you're a regular on the channel, are not usually my jam, and I usually have an excuse to avoid them, like not wanting to hog the telly, or I don't want to sit at my PC or whatever, but now I can stream this straight to my Portal from the couch. Maybe it's a sign I need to finally check it out. The combat looks incredibly fun, and there is a ridiculous amount of content, from fishing to full online siege wars. One thing to keep in mind, PC is still technically the flagship version and gets updates first, but having it drop on PlayStation Plus should give the console servers a fantastic population boost. Now, for the most expensive tier of PlayStation Plus, the premium tier, what do we have to look forward to? Surely a ton of classic games are being added. Well, subscribers, on June 16th, we have Guitar Man. And that's it. And let's be totally honest, this rhythm game actually looks like a lot of fun. It has those classic PlayStation 2 era visuals, which I absolutely love. The colours are so saturated and it just completely pops off the screen. However, if you're planning on playing this on the PlayStation Portal, it might not be ideal. It is an incredibly fast-paced game where you need to hit precise inputs to match the rhythm. You know, think like Guitar Hero. If you have a tiny bit of lag on your Portal setup, it's going to make things way more difficult, so you might be much better off sticking to playing this one directly on your actual console. And let's be real here for a minute about premium. Sony really needs to step up their game here. When you look at the massive library of classic games they have access to, and we get Guitar Man, one single game this month that I personally hadn't heard of. That's not me saying anything about the game because I think it looks awesome, but we should be getting more than this. Like, we definitely should be getting way more value than this. Personally, I wish Sony would just get their finger out and figure out how to let us stream all the amazing PS3 games they have properly. Being able to play MotorStorm on my Portal would be absolute bliss, or give us Wipeout 2097 from the PS1. I love that game. But surely we should get more than one classic game per month. Who agrees? Also, let me know what games you're hoping to see arrive in the Classics collection soon down below in the comments. So as promised, if you want to save yourself some time and figure out exactly what to play first, so you don't need to, scroll through all these games, there can only be one choice for me this month. My absolute number one top pick is Sonic X Shadow Generations. The game looks fantastic, and since I love the original, I know this is going to be even better on PS5 and perfect for the Portal. And I was right, as I gave it a quick go before recording this, and it is great fun, and it looks just beautiful on the Portal's 1080p LCD screen. You do need a good connection though, it is a pretty fast game. But also, 2026 is actually the 35th anniversary of the entire Sonic the Hedgehog series, commemorating 35 years since the original game dropped back in 1991. Ah, the good old days. And look, the nostalgia factor for me here is off the charts. Sonic was one of my first ever gaming heroes growing up as a kid. I used to run around in Sonic t-shirts. I literally used to spike up my hair to look like him. I watched the cartoons and collected the magazines. But even if you discount all of my personal childhood nostalgia, I guarantee you that if you jump into this game, it's going to put a massive smile on your face and you're going to have a brilliant time. No nostalgia required. Trust me on this one. Download it today. Speaking of massive games coming to PlayStation, the recent State of Play event just completely blew the doors off with some incredible announcements. We finally got a massive look at Wolverine, which honestly isn't even my number one most anticipated game from the entire show. If you want to see which surprise title completely stole the spotlight and check out my full top 5 ranked games from the event, click right here on this video and I'll see you over there.